Hello and welcome to the Emmanuel podcast, where we talk things God, tech, life. If this is your first time listening, thank you for joining. And if you've been following, I appreciate your coming back. In the last episode, we talked about going back to the Word, how God's Word is a solid foundation in difficult times. I shared how anchoring in Scripture has been a key part of my journey and why we always turn to it when things get tough. Today I want to continue on that thought but focus on one specific verse, Isaiah 26 verse 3. This verse kept coming to me in different ways, and looking back I see how it was God's way of keeping me grounded. I'll be sharing how it kept me showing up, how I applied it, and how it has helped me. So let's dive in. Isaiah 26 verse 3 says, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you." That's the NIV version. Now let's break it down. You will keep in perfect peace. This means that the peace God gives isn't temporary or incomplete. It's perfect, it's lasting. Those whose minds are steadfast. This is where our role comes in. We have to keep our focus on God and not on our problems. Because they trust in you. Trusting God is the key. When we truly trust Him, our hearts remain at peace no matter what's happening around us. This verse is a promise. God will keep us in peace if we choose to fix our minds on Him. There have been multiple times in my life when this verse just kept showing up. I remember a season of uncertainty. I was anxious about a decision I was going to make, and things were not going as planned. I kept on worrying, overthinking, trying to figure out things on my own. Then I started seeing Isaiah 26 verse 3. I saw it from a song I listened to. That was literally the title of the song, Isaiah 26 verse 3. Then I was listening to a sermon, and then I also heard it in the sermon too, and then I decided to actually sit down with it. That time I was feeling very down, and then the more I thought about the verse, the more I was encouraged. More like it was rejuvenating my spirit. I began to feel better. And calmer and more assured. So what happened when I actually held on to this verse? It shifted my focus. Instead of focusing on what I couldn't control, I started focusing on God. Whenever I caught myself overthinking, I reminded myself, God has promised me peace. I just need to keep my mind on Him. It gave me a practical way to fight anxiety. I stopped letting my thoughts spiral out of control. Instead, I began to meditate on this verse. I turned it into a short prayer. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. Or you will keep me in perfect peace because my mind is steadfast and because I trust in you. It became a weapon in tough times. Whenever I felt anxious, stressed, or overwhelmed, I had something to hold on to. Sometimes, in fact, I'll go back to that song that I said that it was the title of the song. Whenever I started to feel down and stuff, it deepened my trust in God. At the core of this verse is trust. When I started genuinely trusting God, letting go of control and believing He is in charge, peace became a natural result. I no longer had to force peace. It just came as I surrendered. So here's my encouragement for you today. If you're feeling overwhelmed, go back to Isaiah 26 verse 3. Memorize it, meditate on it, and declare it over your life. Peace isn't about everything being perfect. It's about trusting the one who holds it all together. A challenge for you. What verse has kept you going on in tough times? If you don't have one yet, ask God to give you a word to hold on to. I would love to hear from you. Send me a message, comment, or share your thoughts on social media. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. I hope this blessed you. And if this message encouraged you, feel free to share with someone who might need it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss future episodes. If this message encouraged you, feel free to share it with someone who might need it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss future episodes. Until next time, stay rooted in the Word, stay strong in faith, and stay in perfect peace. See you in the next episode.